The irony of Karen Peterson's new bylaw was that the only thing carted off that day was Karen herself. Wrists cuffed, glaring daggers from the back of my patrol car. But let me start at the beginning, where a scream set this whole mess in motion. It was a lazy Texas afternoon, the kind where the air shimmers and the cicadas hum a sleepy tune. I was out wrestling a stubborn fence post, sweat stinging my eyes, when my daughter Lily's cry sliced through the quiet like a lightning bolt. That sound, it doesn't just hit your ears, it slams into your soul. I dropped my tools and ran, boots pounding the dirt, my heart thumping out a desperate prayer. I crashed through the cottonwoods lining Miller Creek, and the sight before me lit a fuse of rage. Karen Peterson, all 5 feet of her puffed up like an angry bantam, was tugging on the reins of Lily's Palomino Starlight. My 16-year-old, pale but standing her ground, was trying to soothe her spooked horse, whose ears flicked nervously. Karen, waving her clipboard like a war banner, was shrieking, "This creek's HOA property now, you little trespasser. Clear out." Lily's phone lay shattered in the dirt. Karen's doing, no question. "This is our land, Mrs. Peterson," Lily said, her voice quivering but firm. "Starlight and I ride here every day." "Not anymore." Karen spat, fumbling with her phone like she was summoning a SWAT team. "I'm calling the law to haul you off." I stepped from the trees, my sheriff's star catching the sun. "No need, Karen. The law's right here." She spun, her face a mix of shock and spite, like a fox caught in a henhouse. For a heartbeat, something, maybe fear, flashed in her eyes, but Karen never backed down, not even when she was dead wrong. "Sheriff Brody," she squawked, rallying. "Arrest this girl for trespassing on HOA land." I ignored her, checking on Lily first. "You okay, kiddo?" She nodded, tears welling, and slid off Starlight into my arms. I hugged her tight, then faced Karen, my voice steady as a cold front. "This is my land, Karen. Miller Creek's been Brody property for decades." I pulled out my worn deed, a testament to our ranch's roots. "Read it and weep," she scoffed, brandishing her clipboard like a holy relic. "That old rag? New HOA rules say this creek's for community use. Board approved, Sheriff. HOA bylaws don't redraw county lines," I said, slow and clear, like teaching a mule to think. "That's not how deeds or laws work." Her face twisted, venomous. Maybe it was my calm, or the sight of my deputies, Miller and Davis, rolling up in their cruiser, but she snapped. That clipboard came swinging, cracking me across the jaw. Pain flared. Blood trickled. Lily gasped. My deputies tensed, hands on their holsters. Karen, though, looked smug, like she just aced a test. "Big mistake. Karen Peterson," I said, my voice pure ice. "You're under arrest for assaulting an officer." Her smugness evaporated as I snapped on the cuffs. Funny. The Academy never mentioned HOA presidents getting a free pass. She blustered, but I was done listening. The cuffs clicked, a sound sweeter than a spring rain. As Miller and Davis loaded her into the cruiser, her glare through the window was cold enough to frost glass, a promise of worse to come. I touched my throbbing jaw, knowing this was just the opening act. Back home, Sarah bandaged my face, her hands soft but her eyes hard. "Karen?" she asked, already knowing. "Who else?" I said. "She's locked up, Sarah. It's handled." But that glare of hers lingered in my mind. This wasn't about a creek or a clipboard. This was war. We'd bought the Triple B Ranch Brody's Big Bend a decade ago, swapping city grit for open plains and clean air. Miller Creek, winding through our land like a silver vein, was its heart, watering our herds and shading Lily's riding trails. It was our haven. Then came the Harmony Hills HOA, a gated cluster of McMansions on our eastern border. At first, they fussed over lawn ornaments and paint swatches. Annoying but harmless, since we weren't members. That changed when Karen Peterson clawed her way to HOA president. Karen, with her razor-sharp bob and eyes that hunted for trouble, was a petty dictator with a grudge. Her husband, a quiet guy who fled on business trips, left her free to terrorize the neighborhood. She'd griped about our cattle's scent, tried to fine us for road dust. Each time, I'd shut her down with legal facts, but her icy stares promised payback. My neighbor Grant, a 60-something eccentric with a yard full of junked cars and a rooster named Elvis, kept me in the loop. He swore Karen was a reptilian overlord, citing her unblinking glare and hatred of Elvis's crowing. I didn't buy his X-Files theories, but his gossip was solid. He'd found Karen's latest stunt, a notice claiming Miller Creek as HOA property, stapled to a fence post a mile from their turf. "She's turning your creek into a community hot tub," he'd hooted, waving the neon yellow paper. I chuckled, then called my lawyer, who confirmed Karen's bylaw was legal hogwash. Still, I dragged myself to the next HOA meeting in their lemon-scented clubhouse. Karen presided like a queen, flanked by jittery board members. I laid out the truth. The creek was ours, backed by county records. She cut me off, smirking. "Old maps. Sheriff? We're forward-thinking. The creek's a community asset now, Section 8, Subsection C, Clause 2. Grant, sporting a tinfoil-lined hat, muttered about slimy legalese. I pushed back, warning her to drop the nonsense. Her smile was all teeth, no soul. "The rules stand, Sheriff. Obey them." It wasn't just a bylaw. It was a gauntlet thrown. The night after Karen's arrest, a call shattered the dark. Manny, my ranch hand, was frantic. "North Barn's burning." My gut sank. That barn held our winter hay, tools, and Starlight, Lily's horse. Sarah and I raced out, the sky glowing a sickly orange. Flames roared, swallowing the barn, spitting sparks like angry wasps. Manny and the hands fought with hoses, but it was like spitting on a volcano. "Starlight," I yelled. Manny's face, lit by the blaze, was grim. "Couldn't reach her, boss. Too fast." Lily's heart would shatter. Then Carlos, another hand, stumbled up, soot-stained. "Fences are cut, Sheriff. West pasture. Cattle's loose. Cut fences. A fire." This wasn't chance, it was sabotage. Cold fury replaced shock. Karen's name was all over this. As the volunteer fire crew battled the blaze, dawn revealed the carnage. The barn reduced to charred bones, hay gone, a tractor ruined. Then Doc Jenkins, our vet, delivered the gut punch. "Starlight was poisoned, Jack. Something fast-acting. She was gone before the fire got bad. Poisoned. They hadn't just torched our barn. They'd murdered Lily's horse." My fists clenched, rage burning hotter than the flames. This was evil, plain and simple. Grant showed up, somber for once. "This ain't right, Sheriff," he said, eyeing the ruins. "City slickers always slip up, though. Bet they left a trail." His words sparked hope. My trail cams, hidden sentinels for wildlife and strays, might have caught something. Maybe these arsonists were sloppy enough to stroll past one. The ashes still smoked as I checked the cams. 2 were fried, but the third, tucked by an oak, blinked green. Jackpot. Back in my office, Sarah at my side, I played the footage. Grainy night vision showed 3 figures at 2:17 a.m., sneaking toward the barn with gas cans and bolt cutters. My blood boiled. One was bulky Conroy, a local troublemaker. Another was wiry, quick. The third, my gut twisted, was Kyle Peterson, Karen's spoiled 19-year-old son, dousing the barn with gas. They snipped fences, lit the fire, and ran. Then, at the frame's edge, headlights. A vehicle, parked on the dirt track, blinked once and peeled out toward Harmony Hills. A getaway driver. This wasn't just Karen's vendetta, it was organized. "Someone else is pulling strings," Sarah whispered, staring at the frozen headlights. Karen was vicious, but was she this cunning? Or was Kyle trying to impress someone bigger? My mind raced. Miller Creek was valuable, consistent water in dry years. Developers drooled over land like ours for golf courses or waterfront estates. Was Karen a pawn in a larger game? I called Judge Harrison at dawn, laying out the footage, the arson, the poisoning. He issued arrest warrants for Kyle and his cronies, plus a search warrant for their homes. I rallied my tightest deputies, Miller, Davis, and 2 veterans, for a coordinated raid.
No leaks, no mistakes.
Grant shuffled in with donuts and coffee, smelling of conspiracy theories. Heard about the warrants, Sheriff, he grinned. Need my spud gun? Shoots taters 100 yards. Thanks, buddy, I chuckled. But stick to watching the home front, Sarah called as we prepped. Be careful, Jack, she said, fear lacing her voice. Always, I promised. This is for Lily, for Starlight. We rolled out, a silent convoy through the pre-dawn gloom. My team hit Karen's house, where Kyle likely slept, dreaming of chaos. We crept up, Thor the K-9 growling low. Sheriff's Department. Search warrant. I bellowed. No answer, just a yappy poodle inside. Miller rammed the door, we flooded in. Kyle was in his room, shoving a backpack under his bed. Hands up, I barked. He froze, a cornered weasel. As Davis cuffed him, he blubbered. Mom made me. Said you needed a lesson. The other teams nabbed Bulky and Weasel Thompson, but Weasel bolted, crashing through a mesquite thicket. Thor and I gave chase, thorns tearing at us. Then I heard Lily scream. My heart stopped. She was there, near the thicket, drawn by the sirens. Weasel, panicked, charged at her, maybe thinking to use her as a shield. I roared, pure instinct, and tackled him like a runaway bull, slamming him into the dirt. Lily was safe, sobbing but unharmed. I cuffed Weasel, my hands shaking with relief and fury. The grunts were caught, but Karen and her mystery backer were still out there. With Kyle and his pals in custody, confessions poured out. Kyle sang loudest, pinning the arson, fence cutting, and Starlight's poisoning on Karen. She'd ordered the toxin online, calling it gopher control. Her plan, make us pay for her arrest. The others, scared of hard time, backed his story. Karen, out on bail, went into panic mode. A deputy watching her house reported a shredding truck in her driveway. Then Grant called, triumphant, reeking of coffee grounds. Found this in her trash, Sheriff, he said, handing me a manila envelope. Buried under cat sweaters and old magazines. Smelled like her lilac perfume. Inside were emails between Karen and Marcus Thorne, CEO of Thorne Development, a company known for gobbling up rural land. Karen had been negotiating to sell Miller Creek's water rights to Thorne for a fat consulting fee and a community dock. Thorne promised to rezone our ranch if we resisted. The fire, the poisoning, it was all to scare us off, devalue our land. The mystery vehicle? Likely Thorne's man, watching. This was big. Corporate greed, not just Karen's spite. I met with Helen Cartwright, our county prosecutor. This is dynamite, Jack, she said, eyeing the emails. Thorne's got deep pockets, but we've got him. The legal battle was fierce. Kyle and his buddies took plea deals, testifying against Karen. Financial records tied Thorne to Karen's secret account. Harmony Hills residents, freed from her reign, spilled stories of her bullying and shady deals, some hinting at Thorne's other land grabs. In court, Karen's haughty mask cracked as Kyle, Manny, Doc Jenkins, and even Grant, minus the cat sweaters, testified. Lily's victim impact statement was the clincher. You tried to burn our peace, she said, staring down Karen and Thorne. But we're still here, stronger. Jurors wept. Karen sobbed. Thorne glared. The verdict, guilty. Karen got prison for assault, arson, conspiracy, and cruelty. Thorne faced jail and fines that gutted his empire. The HOA was fined, the bylaw voided, and a fund in Starlight's name was set up for animal welfare. Life at the Triple B slowly healed. The barn's ruins were cleared. We planned to rebuild. Lily, though scarred, started sketching horses again. For her birthday, we got her a Palomino filly, Dawn. A new start. Sarah and I grew closer, forged by the fight. Grant threw a Lizard Queen deposed barbecue, presenting me with Karen's perfume bottle, now filled with his fiery jalapeno jelly. The creek flowed on, its song a reminder of what we'd fought for. The peace we found was hard-won, deeper for it. I'd stayed true to the law, not vengeance, proving justice could triumph. We'd faced the hornet's nest and come out standing, with Miller Creek still ours, and our family stronger than ever.